should be live. Hopefully I'm not as unlisted. I can't even, I guess I should like open up my, if I can find my laptop. Look at me being so unprepared. Hello. Ah. But hello y'all, how are you guys doing? Um, so I just finished doing my skincare, well, part of my skincare. Stuff that no one cares about, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways. Um, why am I so like, what should I do? That's too personal, honey. I'm trying to find like a good camera angle. That's just gonna have to do, honey. And this tulips in the background. I don't know why. I'm just in my head about it. But alright, let me pull up first of all my stream, and then let me also plug in my laptop so I can look at this chat. But my laptop's almost dead. I am just so together with my life. I always say you can always tell how together my life is based off of my skin, because I normally have relatively good skin, but when I eat like trash, I it reflects in my skin. And so lately I've been eating like trash, but actually have been eating like trash. But I also want to point out that for the past couple days I've worn sunscreen and I haven't washed it off. So like I would still like wash my face in the morning and all that and do my normal like morning skincare routine stuff no one literally asks for. But yeah, so do all that, but then putting sunscreen on, I don't think a lot of people know this either. If you put sunscreen on, which you should be doing it every day anyways, even if you don't go outside, because spoiler alert, like you're gonna still get those rays, so like just put it on every day. But yeah, like you're supposed to wash it off, and so if you don't, then it can like clog up your skin as well. But I'm not an expert at skincare, so don't be taking quotes from me. But yeah, I like just finished washing my face. I did a exfoliated and stuff as well. So I don't know if it's just like a black people thing or maybe it's like every race. Let me know if y'all exfoliate. But like anytime I exfoliate, my skin gets a little bit lighter for a hot biscuit. But yeah, I finished doing that. I haven't even put on moisturizer. I haven't done my hair or anything. So I wanted to just like do that with you guys, because this is literally me getting ready for the day, y'all. This is literally me like not waking up actually this time. It's like midnight right now of me live streaming. And this is usually like my go time to like record everything. So I don't really do too much to get ready for camera anymore. I don't put too much effort now that I post too dang much every day. But yeah, for this, like I don't know, I felt like talking to you guys while I'm just like getting ready. Right? I didn't even feel like doing an upload of a video. I just felt like doing like a live stream, even if I'm like talking to myself, but that's okay. Um I should put on my music too, huh? Let me finish putting this in. But yeah, I also wanted to just like speak out, like think out loud as well during this, because um this week, well, I've been meaning to for a hot biscuit now. It's like not that I'm complaining, y'all, because I literally make the choice and I personally like enjoy always having something to record, always having something to do, because I just enjoy feeling productive. But it makes it hard to like do anything or explore too much, just because it's like I'm always signing myself up for 12 videos. If I feel like trying out a reading style, I don't want any zodiac sign to feel left out. So naturally I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I got to do 12 videos for that. And then already considering the weekly videos I try to do every week, it's like when I'm trying to like branch out, like one, I'm kind of like in my head and I know like, let me make sure it's like cute enough. And I know like a lot of people are going to say is like, oh, Valka, well, some people will probably say like, oh, Valka, just like post whatever you want to post. And I'm just like, yeah, but I don't want to do that like too much, you know, because like my version of what I enjoy posting is like, to put it in perspective, y'all, My favorite YouTubers are I grew up with like Trisha Paytas. I've watched her, honey, since I like started watching YouTube like 12 years ago. I've like, yeah, I've like watched her for so long, and so like I like personal like videos. You can even tell in like my tarot videos, like even though like I'm providing that service of a reading, right? Um, I still like, I feel like for the most part I do a pretty good job at like forming a connection, because it's like that's just like how I have always used YouTube even to this day. I always have used YouTube to like just like, not that I know, like obviously I know like Trisha doesn't know my existence and like whatever, and just seeing like what's on camera, but like it's like the most real authentic thing that you're going to get on YouTube, which I feel like is refreshing. Like when you see Trisha, she's showing that like everything, like all the ranges of emotions and everything, and just like being herself. So that's always my intent with my videos, is like being able to like, because like I watch videos like hers because I want to like form a connection, and like so like when I make videos, I'm like making videos essentially for like what I would want for myself. But I don't know if that's like how anyone else is. Maybe I'm just weird, you know? Because it's like I know not a lot of people are into like long, just like 40-minute videos where there's nothing, not really a topic. And that's the thing too. Even with my like personal when I'm like just talking about stuff, like about my life, I don't write things out. And it's very obvious because I'm never well spoken. Always a lot of ums and likes, you knows. I'm very self-aware of like my how not intelligent I sound. Something I want to work on, but yeah, I enjoy those videos, but I know not a lot of people do, especially when it comes to like tarot readings. People who come for like tarot readings, right? But I always like want to make it a strong point that it's like, you're gonna subscribe to me. Well, I guess you don't listen to me put rules, honey, to just like, if you're going to subscribe to me, like let me put the boundaries right now. um I don't want people just to view me as like a tarot reader, because there's just so much more. Like, yeah, I'm really good at tarot readings, but it's like there's so much more, right? I enjoy, like, I want like, if I wanted to just like pursue like a path of just like tarot readings, I wouldn't like there I would be approaching it so differently. I enjoy being able to just connect with people. I enjoy being able to just like share, I guess almost like vlog style, but not, I don't know. I'm going on such tangents. That wasn't even the intentions of this video. But yeah, I like people to also like see me as like a person, be able to like connect with people as like people, and like and I know it's like such a hard thing to do, especially for when people just come for tarot readings. But you know, if you subscribe to me, I feel like at this point you kind of know that you're signing up for like, you're signing up for some like quality tarot readings, honey. That's for sure. I can trust and, honey, trust and believe the things I'm confident about with what I'm bringing to this channel, to this humble abode, honey, is that I know I'm bringing you good vibes, honey. I'm bringing you good music. Well, technically, I'm not bringing you good music. Tom Fox is bringing you good music. But I'm helping him create, in a way, that good music in such a small way. Um, you know, but I feel like I'm getting on such tangents. I'm trying to just sit here and justify to myself of why I can like create personalized content. Basically, to summarize this last like 4 minutes of me babbling about nothing, is that yeah, I like doing tarot readings, but I also like want to like go heavy into just like other types of videos as well, so people just realize and like connect with me. Sure, for my tarot readings initially, but the intent or hope is that you connect with my tarot readings, and we can like connect in a spiritual way in that way, and then later on we can connect on like just a personal level, or we can connect on like different spiritual avenues and all that. That's what good. That's you know, if you know. That's partially what I wanted to make this video about. Well, yeah, do this live stream. about is because I was like, starting in my head because I was just like thinking about it. And it's like, so I guess I can do a little bit of story time as well. Um, I was gonna do like a specific video, but I feel like this is better. Um, so there was like several weeks ago, probably like over a month ago now, some while ago. We'll just say a while ago. Um, I live in Washington, so we were in phase 2 at that time. We're about to get into phase 3. But basically, there's outdoor dining, and I'm always just like a loner, right? I go out to eat by myself because honey, I love like that's the thing. Like, I know in so many of my videos it comes off as just being like, oh, like, I just want to be able to relate to people. But like, I enjoy, honey, I enjoy being my time, being by myself, me, myself, and I, the best company, darling. When I tell you. But yeah, going out to eat by myself, and like, I like to. I know some people are gonna like squint and just be like, oh, social distancing, whatever, whatever. But honey, like one, I work from home, right? I don't talk to people. And two, like, I want to support local businesses still. So, anyways, that's my business anyways. I don't know why I feel like I need to defend that. But yeah, I was out in this restaurant, Mexican restaurant, and I got, honey, let me tell you. Let me tell you what I got at this Mexican restaurant. What did I get? I got chips and salsa, of course, it comes with it. But I think I got oh no. I thought I was gonna say I got chips and queso, honey, but that was another time. I guess I'm a commoner there. But no, this time I was eating some type of burrito. I was eating a chili verde burrito, honey. Delicious, by the way. But I was eating it, and I was like in my own world, honey. I was like watching YouTube as well. And so, when you're in your own world and you're just watching a show, you're just like, you're not trying to cute eat, honey, and I'm not trying to cute eat. Who was I trying to impress? It was actually for those that like know the time frame. I posted me in like an all. Is it magenta? I'm colorblind. I think it's magenta or the all red outfit that I had on in my community post. No one cares. No one knows. Velka, calm down. But oh yeah, it's for like during no, I don't know. January. Doesn't matter. Anyways, so yeah, I was sitting there, I was eating, honey, I was going down on my food, honey. I was loving that burrito. And then I was like in the process of like getting up and getting ready to go after a while. And there's like these couple individual boys, men. They were like my age. I'm 25. I'm 25, y'all. I'm gonna be turning 26 this year. Ugh. But yeah, like a couple people my age. And they're eating at a table, couple tables in front of me, at a small table. Like my table, for some reason, I was sitting at a massive table because there's just like massive table for all this personality, darling, I guess. But I was like getting up, getting ready to like go. I was basically shuffling and like whatever, doing the thing, and um, then like this individual, I like to be descriptive, so like I'm just gonna say there's like this Caucasian man, this white boy came over, and I don't even entirely remember what he looks like truly, because in this moment, like this experience, honey, I kind of like it's not my proudest moment, but yeah, he is just like white boy, like a little bit longish hair. He looked like a hippie. He looked like, yeah, he just looked like a hippie. He looked like someone that was just like in my town, which is just very hipster. Like everyone like loves their IPAs, local breweries, honey. I love that. It's not me like being judgy, but yeah, comes up to my table, honey. When I tell you, comes up to my table, and at this point, like I was just already like I was about to put my mask on, and then you're just like, oh, hello, and I was just like, oh, hi, and so this is gonna sound so self-centered, but or like vain or whatever, but I promise you it's not, like, because like I've always just dressed, I've always been eccentric, right? In high school, I've always say like I was just like putting on blue eyeshadow, like truth, all the way to my eyebrows, like wearing heels. Like I've always just been very out there. And so people just will compliment that. Like whenever you just like do like, I'm always, so basically like I'm used to people just like stopping me to compliment me on something, like pointing out something that they like, especially since like where I live, it's just like very like a bunch of hikers and stuff like that, a bunch of mountain people. So it's just like you have like everyone in outside gear. Same with this man that was standing in front at my table. And then I'm like just always like, honey, I'll go to Walgreens and just like a blazer and like just a full on just look, honey. So it's like I stand out. And plus I'm like one of 3 black people in this town. But I digress. That's a whole nother video. Several videos. But yeah, he comes up to my table and just starts like making small talk. And at this time it wasn't registering to me. And he just like compliments me. He's just like, oh yeah, like your energy, like you're just so well dressed. And I'm just like, oh yeah, thank you. Like at this point, it's kind of like autopilot. Maybe that sounds bad, but like I was just kind of like in autopilot because I was just like, I don't know, like not like I mean he's seemed like a nice individual, but unless something like I need people to be forward because otherwise I'm just in my own world and like trying to get from like point A to point B. And so he was just like, and I was like, oh yeah, thank you. And I'm just like looking up, smiling at him, like not registering in the slightest that he's like trying to hit on me, mind you. Like I was just like, what do we do here? You know, what do you want? You know, are you gonna like I already paid for my stuff, so you know. And then he was just like, oh yeah, you just look so lone, like you're dressed so nicely and you look so lonely over here by yourself, and you should come like, and he said something like, he's like, oh, you should come to no, he was like, do you want to come to my friend's my table? And like maybe I'm just like a blockhead. Like I know like people like some like there's like a stereotype where it's just like with men, like you're like with some men where it's just like things just go over their heads, like emotions and stuff, like or when someone's hitting on them. And that's like maybe that was like my moment, but let me finish putting on moisturizer, honey. Um that was like in that moment. Like first I honed in on honey, on like him saying lonely. And so it's not that I was like insecure about being someone identifying me as lonely or whatever. Like I don't care. Like honey, I cry on like for hundreds of people to see. Like I don't care. But I was like to hear like lonely is just like in that moment I was just like I don't I have like this thing about like misinformation. So like when I heard lonely, I was just like wanting to correct that. I was like, oh no, I'm not lonely. I'm like I was like I enjoy being by myself. And then also in my brain, logical brain, I was just like looking at their table and it was like small and I was just like, okay, like I almost dropped my moisturizer. And I was just like, okay, like in my brain, I was like, okay, like we wouldn't be able to social distance like properly. So it's just like, I wasn't even like, again, and I was assuming that everyone was functioning off of that way. So I was just like, oh, maybe they're just not thinking about it from that way. So I was just like, let me not even open that conversation. So I was like, no, I'm good. So I was just like, oh no, I appreciate it. And then he like stands there still and he's just like shuffling around nervously, just standing over here, standing, like just like shuffling around. And I'm just still like looking up at him, just like looking at him smiling, just like, okay. Like in this moment, like I don't even know what was processing in my brain. I think I was just there. And I'm about to be looking like I'm doing a white face for a moment, y'all. So I'm gonna be looking real spooky, so don't mind me. But it's just moisturizer, promise you. And so yeah, he was shuffling around. I was just like, okay. And then like after a moment, he was just like, yeah, you just look so nice, like you're dressed so nicely, and like looks me up and down again like several times. And I was just like still standing there, and I was just like, thank you. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, you know, taking the compliment, but like, again, honey, was not registering to me in the slightest, like what he was doing still. And I think he got that. And then he was just like, he's like, yeah, like my friend over there as well just found out today that I was gay. I just told him that I was gay. And in this moment, I was just like happy for him because I was, I look so ridiculous. I was happy for him because I was just like, oh, heck yeah, you got out of the closet, honey. Like in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, go off, honey. Like I figured he just wanted to like share it at that point. So like I didn't like share that happy news because his friend went to the bathroom. So I was like, oh, he just wanted to like, he saw a sister and he like I guess wanted to like share the news or something. I don't know. And so I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Like I was happy for him. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I think like at the time it didn't register to me in that way where he's just like letting me know that he was gay. I think that was his like attempt. And so then he like shuffles around nervously a little bit more. And then he's just like, yeah, you just like look or dress so nicely, look so nice. And he's still looking me up and down. And I'm just like, thank you. And he was just like, he's like, you should just come to my table. And I was just like, I mean, he didn't say it like that. He's like, are you sure you don't want to come to my table or something? And I was like, oh no, I'm good. And I think like, still like just smiling just like cluelessly as ever, honey. And I think at this point, like, I know for probably like looking back, he probably like still knew I was like probably clueless, but then because like he still kind of like just stood there, because I don't think he was just like, do I probably in his brain he was like, oh, should I be more forward or something? And then I don't even remember. I think he just like went back to his table, and then I can't like when I like paid, walked out, and like 10 steps later, I was just like I stopped and I was like, oh, honey, he was hitting on you. And like, oh, let me backtrack as well. Like, even in that moment, it was like afterwards, there's like that, there was a transition period. Like, there was a moment in my brain where I was just like, oh, maybe I should like exchange, like, ask him for like his social media, like an Instagram or something. And this is where it gets hesitant, where I get hesitant though, because I'm just like, that's where I think about my content. It's not that I'm like insecure about what I talk about or anything. I don't care. But I don't want that to be someone's like first impression in person for me. Cause it's like, unless you like know me a little bit, right? Like a singular video of mine, like I feel like I'm a really weird individual, right? There's a lot of layers to me. And so I want to be able to like connect with someone, so it's just like to help them maneuver through the seemingly complicated maze that is Velka, right? And so in that moment I'm just like, ooh, I don't want to post my like, and I was just like, so I was just like, I should, but I don't want to like ask her his number either, so I'm just like, so I think I just like blanked it out anyways. So yeah, it didn't register to me that this man was hitting on me until after the fact, and I was just like, oh well. But that was something I was like thinking about. Can I do an LGBT? I can probably. I don't know when. I don't want to promise a set point of when I will do an LGBT, because there's so many like videos I want to like, video series, like I want to do like a daily tarot thing as well. Is your nighttime skin? Yeah, it is my nighttime skincare routine. uh, yeah, so like yeah, it didn't hit me until after the fact. I was just like, But yeah, I was thinking about it and I was just like, man, like, I'm not insecure about the stuff that I post, but it's just a lot to take in. And so I think about it and I still think about it. It's like, insecure is not the word for it, because again, I don't really care, but it's just like, I think about like people that I meet in like the physical that like will then like either Google me or like, or like just you follow my social media in the slightest, and it's just like, because it's like when you follow like my Instagram, for example, like you see my YouTube, you see like everything. Hello, Alanis. Yeah, like you see, honey, everything. Like it's like I'm an open book, and so it's like I'm very self-aware of the fact that it's just like these people can like literally just hear and like all my insecurities and all, while I was just like with like Tom Fox, for example, like I'm breaking down and like still like I did like a breakdown video on my Instagram like the day before I had a meeting basically, and it's just like the person I was having a meeting with saw the video, so it's just like uh, it's one of those things where it's just like uh, I get like in my head about how people in the physical will initially perceive me until I get a chance to like really like let them in, like have them connect to me. Because I still even think about it, like I always wonder like with Tom Fox, who does my music for my channel, like I think about like what is in his, even like what does he even like fathom in his brain, like what does he even think like with the little stuff that he sees with my channel. you know so it's like, I don't know. And then it's like, I always just think about, yeah, that's just something I think about is how, just like people's perception, I guess, of me. Because from like, I always struggle, like, I feel as if like the perception I give off, and I'm still like struggling with like trying to figure out the balance, is like, I feel like a lot of people think I'm an extremely just like depressed person, which they're probably not entirely wrong. But it's like it's like depression by choice, because it's like, one, it's the very fact I can talk about it in front of the camera. Like I see it as me being at peace with it, right? I feel like I just talk about the emotions and experiences everyone talks about, but they don't want to like actually like vocalize it, right? But like just me talking about it doesn't mean like I'm like really having a hard time coping, I guess. And plus, I always just like deep diving with things, right? Like I was seeing I was seeing a therapist again for putting stuff in my hand for my hair. I was seeing a therapist for few sessions, um, and it's like every time I go to a therapist, like while I personally love therapy, I'm not at a like financial state where I can justify it, because it's like a therapist to me is just like is like they're not telling me anything I don't already know. Like they'll try to explain something and it's just like, no, I know this. So it's like I make the choice of always like I do like I'm so passionate, like in my tarot readings, I'm so passionate about shadow work for people. I'm glowing, thank you. It's all the moisturizer I just put on. I'm so passionate about shadow work in my readings and for people to do it, because that's how I am. Like I am constant, like I love growth, honey. I love constantly reflecting and deep diving. So it's like kind of purposely put myself in these emotional states, and it's like while I can have an easy time like suppressing it and like, you know, keeping it, like I'm a strong individual. Like I just keep it moving. Life goes on. The carousel never stops turning, honey. Right? I really don't have a like, you know, it's just we keep it moving. But it's like I want to be able to like sit down and like record and talk about it. One, just because it's just nice to be able to like experience your emotions. I feel like it's such a beautiful thing to like, especially with what I used to do for a living. Like you just had to have like your emotions like turned off. And it's just like for so long when you have your emotions turned off, when you associate like not feeling things, not being sensitive, and that's the thing. I feel like for so long, and still in society where it's just like this sense of where it's like if you show emotion or sensitivity, then you're like a weak individual or whatever. So I could like turn it off very easily. I could, you know, so it's like I really enjoy, I think it's more admirable to experience your emotions and talk about them, because it then just lets other people know that they're not alone. And I don't know. I feel like emotions need to be more normalized, even like the painful ones, because there's a certain beauty in experiencing the painful ones. There's a certain beauty in experiencing heartbreak in all the layers, right? There's heartbreak when it comes to family. There's heartbreak when it comes to loss of a friend, of a lover, of a pet, a loved one, right? There's heartbreak in a lot of things. But I find it to be such a beautiful and exciting thing, because if I'm experiencing, and I always say it too, if I'm experiencing this level of hurt now, regardless of what it is, insert whatever, if I lost a friend, right? Like no longer was friends with somebody or whatever, had my heart broken. And if I'm experiencing that pain and it sucks, like, right? And it's just like a certain, it was like, oh, like punch to the gut, like, don't know how I'm gonna wake up in the morning, right? I think that's like, it sucks, but it makes me so excited, because it's like, I think about what's to come. And I think that's how I even approach my readings, because even with my life in general, I don't even think it's, I guess it's optimism, because it's like if you're able to experience like this, honey, I'm getting emotional just at the thought of people experiencing emotions. If you have this heartbreak with some, like a past loved one, right, or you have a heartbreak of like a family member, like because of like X, Y, and Z, right? If you're able to experience that pain with someone with that at that level of caliber, right? Of where they just have like all these issues, and after that connection you learned certain boundaries to set, right? I think that's so exciting, because it's like, oh, what are you going to feel with the next connection when you have those proper boundaries in place? When you're able to explore even deeper emotions, right? It shows to you the pain that you feel. It just shows just like how much you actually were able to explore the depths of loving somebody. And I think that's so beautiful. And so that's how I approach my readings as well. I think in just life in general, it's like things can suck, things can be so painful in certain aspects, but you know, you think about like a year from now, or you think like you don't even have to think about the future. You can think about what's happened in the past, like what's happened a year ago. Where were you a year ago mentally? I mean, at least for me, maybe I just started from rock bottom, so it's like everywhere I look is just an improvement. But I'm so excited about the future and like what's to come. I'm so excited for everybody in that way. It's like it doesn't matter if you're going through some type of illness, doesn't matter if you're going through a heartbreak, doesn't matter if you're going through some financial struggles, doesn't matter if you're going through insecurities, anxiety, and not any of it. It doesn't matter about any of that. Because you go through that now and you're working through that now. It doesn't matter how you, and I say it too, it doesn't matter how you look at the end of that experience of you having that panic attack. And I think that's important. Like, that's why I post my stuff, even when I am having breakdowns, like on my Instagram. I post it not because I look for sympathy, but it's like, if I'm sitting here crying, right, and I can even look at my personal videos that are still public on YouTube. If I'm crying, I can remember specific pains. Like in my video of like, don't say you broke up, I can remember the specific pains of losing like several friends, like dear friends that I loved so much. And I can look back on that and I think about now where my mental state is, where my emotional state is. There's growth. There's something that I was able to progress from. And so in life in general, whatever you're going through, once you get through it, that's an accomplishment. And that's in a sense, even if it's just like there's no like cake or pie by the end of it or gold medal, you still are able to be proud of yourself and be able to say that you learned something along the way that you can take for the future. And you will allow that to propel you forward. And I truly believe that for everybody. I truly believe that we're all like on just a constant path of progression. I don't see any of us ever like at a standstill. I don't see any of us ever like regressing in life. I just see it as like one constant like forward motion, because it's like, it doesn't matter what you're going through, honey. I could be going through a heartbreak right now, right? I could be feeling the loneliest I could feel in this moment, right? Right? And then like, let's say like a year from now, I think I find like the one, or like I find like a friend that like breaks my heart and some like betrays me, right? Hey, it's 1 a.m. there. Right? And I can experience that pain as well, and that just sucks, right? That probably can arguably feel worse than feeling single, right? Depending on like what was inflicted at that time. But I think it's just because I value the experience of things, and that's what I want people to like look at as well when it comes to life, is just valuing the experience of like whatever it is and then just enjoying it. Because it's like there are so honey maybe one day, y'all, I'll be able to like talk about bits and pieces of like my past. But it's like there were a lot of years, y'all, that I just did not it felt like I was a prisoner, but it was a weird thing to feel like a prisoner when you're like 9 years old. I'll just say that, right? It's like, there's just such a level of gratitude I have of being able to just like experience like whatever it is. And I just think it's so freaking cool, man. I think it's so cool for people to have like such experiences. Obviously, like with sicknesses and stuff like that, it's a different story, right? But when it comes at the very least of social things and just like your own like emotional development, I think it's so beautiful, man. I don't think you can get anything better than that. Because that just like at the very least, it just shows that you're able, like you're doing something actively, honey. I'm probably not even making any sense, and I'm probably just being manic. But just a long spiel about how I just appreciate the human experience and just how much I just don't take it for granted. And you shouldn't either, regardless of what it is, right? That's the one thing I've learned as well through doing the tarot readings, is that it's crazy to think about what's going on in everyone's lives. But the thing is, just like my face, every single day basically, or every single week we'll say, that keeps coming back. And that's what we do. Like, honey, the very fact that we wake up in the wake up into a new day, no one's asking for this overtly optimistic optimism. Did I always have this outlook on life? Oh, absolutely not. I don't even think about it all. I don't think it's something I think about even now all the time. I mean, how deep we want to go with this, honey? How deep we want to go? Like, there are definitely this. I guess I'll say like a trigger warning here. I'm not gonna get too deep. It's just more so about like self harm, but it's like a little trigger warning. Um, I got into self harming very young because of like my living situation. It was in Florida. I was in elementary school. I think I was like finishing up elementary school. So I was like fifth grade, going into sixth grade. And that's when I started being homeschooled. And it's just like, ugh, honey. I had a very grim outlook on life for a very long time. And it was like but I think the thing that always kept me going, even then, is that not that I could ever fathom it, and even still now, there's certain parts that I can't fathom of it. But it's kind of like I did a post on it. It's like having faith, is because it's like I always had faith that things would get better, or at least I would be excited. I was so excited, and I still am so excited for the thought of experiencing certain things, right? Even just having the experience of just having friends, right? That was at one point in my life that was what it's so excited about. And I remember finally accomplishing that, having like an actual like physical friend in high school. Iris, I made a post about her. She was my first friend ever. And so it's like, maybe I wasn't always like on this level of optimistic, but there's always like and I'm like crying now just because it's like out of appreciation, honey, not out of sadness, but it's like when you start from there where you just want to have a friend, to feel safe of even like, you know, then it's just like anything else, honey, that's just icing on the cake. Like the very fact I can turn on a live stream now and just like talk to y'all, talk to people. I didn't even there are literally, like when I tell y'all, there are literally years I didn't talk to anybody that wasn't blood related to me. And even those people, like the majority of them were abusive. And so it's like I just don't take I don't take anything for granted, honey. It's like truly when I ask people to like comment, when it's like even when I'm like responding, I don't take any of it for granted, because it's like I know what it's like to just have nobody. I know what it's like to just feel completely alone. Truly. Like I can feel lonely now, right? I can feel like I don't have like a deep connection now, but it's like, honey, I can look back. Like, I know it's just not that, I don't know. This turned like to such a like weird turn, didn't it? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just really grateful. I'm just really grateful. Let me read it. I know it's like, see, yeah, that's the thing too. I'm always so hopeful for like all of us too, is like everything is going to get so much better. I genuinely believe that like things for all of us are going to get so much better, even at the very least of yeah, I don't know. I just think like I can't fathom a reality for anybody of where I love you guys. I can't fathom a situation for any of us where like a year from now that our life isn't going to be better. All of us, truly. I can't. It doesn't matter what you're going through. In my eyes, like, I just can't, that's just not how my brain functions. It's like, while I could have like a pretty grim view on life, it's always like one of those things of like, if I can find a string, honey, that's the thing. I can be in the darkest room ever. I can be in the darkest room ever, but you can trust and believe that I'm gonna find that silver string, that thread to hang on to. I'm gonna find that one thing, even if it seems completely ridiculous. Honey, you and I, we could be stuck in the woods somewhere in the middle of nowhere. We can be in Castaway, honey. If y'all know that movie, that one, that's the one with the volleyball. And the guy, it's an older movie now. It's the guy, the volleyball, the guy's stranded on an island for like a long time. Like, we could be in the Castaway movie, honey, on an island, deserted island. And like every single day, like, first of all, we would be having like coconut friends, and that's a side note, but like, we would be like, I would be the one that would be waking up every single day, maybe not always bubbly about it, but I would always be like, oh yeah, like, one of these days, like, the boat's, we're gonna be found. Like, it doesn't, I don't, it's just like, as long as there's something to grasp onto, I'm gonna grasp onto it to my very last breath, honey, and that's that. Like, because I feel like that's just like what we should all be doing, right? What's the point in why feed into a negative narrative? We're gonna be like, oh yeah, we're just screwed out here, right? We're not gonna get out of here. Or just like Natasha says, right? Or we can be on the hope, feed energy in the hopeful side and be like, we end up in Narnia, honey. Like, I don't know. It's like, you don't gain anything from feeding to the negative narrative, so why do that? Honey, let me also talk about this. I bought this yesterday. Kavita, they do some kombuchas. This is not kombucha though, honey. This is, as you can read it from the label, which I did not do when I bought this, it says apple cider vinegar. Tonic. All I saw was packaging, honey. All I saw was purple and gold. And I don't know if you know much about me, but I love me some gold. And I love purple. Purple's probably my favorite color. But it's like, yeah, like, so I just saw the packaging and I was like, ooh, elderberry. I don't know what an elderberry is, but it probably looks tasty because it's purple and gold, right? Royalty colors, honey. So I bought it and I was like, this is gonna be a bomb kombucha, honey. It's gonna be bomb. Opened it when I got home. Ooh, baby, I was looking forward to it. My mouth was watering for this kombucha because I haven't had kombucha in like a couple weeks, honey. It's been a dry spell for some kombucha. Open it and I'm just like, not, and I was like, I'm about to taste some elderberry, honey. About to taste some elderberry. When I tell y'all there was nothing come, there was nothing, I was about to say there's nothing there's nothing bucha about it, but let's just keep it together. There's nothing kombucha about this drink. It's just like drinking straight up, straight up apple cider vinegar, honey. Straight up apple cider vinegar with like, you know what it would be like? Imagine like a grape Kool-Aid packet with pickles and pickle juice. That's what it is. It's like grape Kool-Aid. Not even grape. Old grapes, because it's elderberry. My bad. And it's like blueberries. I guess it would be more appropriate for blueberries. But it's like a blue Kool-Aid, but in pickle juice. Like, there's nothing lovely about it at all. Like salty piss. That's exactly... Okay. There was nothing lovely about it. It was just like, I took a sip and I was like, ooh. And I don't want to waste, I spent like $3 on this, honey. $3 on this? I'm like, we'll be drinking every last drop of it. It's like I'm taking a shot, man. I can take whiskey easier. Ugh. Oh, the nature cereal. I did a rant on my Twitter, y'all, on nature cereal. If you don't know the nature cereal thing on TikTok, I'm not even gonna call it a challenge. It's just people who like put a bunch of berries in a bowl with either water or coconut water, and they're just like, oh, this is nature cereal. And I was just like, I put a tweet. I tweeted it, and I was just like, it's concerning to me that people like with this nature's cereal challenge, like people are actually being like genuine about it. I thought it was just like a troll, and um it concerns me because it's like it seems like people just don't have fruits. Like they don't consume fruits. I'm just like, girl, this is literally just like a raw smoothie. Like this is just like a medium rare smoothie. Like it just isn't blended. Like what? It's just like what? Hello, are y'all okay? Wait until they hear about vegetable soup, honey. What are they gonna call that? God, like I'm just like, girl, what is going on? I am just like too old now. Speaking too old, let me drink some more Miss Elderberry. How do you guys feel about my ancestor readings? VA is quaking right now, honey. How do you guys feel about the ancestor readings? More so like the camera point of view. Ideally, some point in the future, cheers. Ideally, at some point in the future, I want to be able to. I need another camera, obviously, to get it. I want to be able to have like a camera facing my table with the tarot cards, like the view you see, and then have another camera where it's like the normal angle. So that way I can just have like a small section box with like the tarot cards, right? I want to be able to do it like that in the future, so it's like all together. But I'm like torn between how to like do it, like right, like do I just continue my normal general readings with like with just my hands, or do I do go to like do I keep my general readings normal, or do I like transition my general readings into just my hands as well? Because I noticed like a lot of like channels, like it seems like if there are more channels that are like popular with just your hands than channels that are with like your face. But it's like hard right now because I don't have the setup. Like I'm in my bedroom, I'm sitting on my bed. Y'all see my clock. Clearly I don't have my life together, honey, in the sense that I can have like that cute little setup that like people have. So I like compensate for it with my editing. I don't have my glasses. Let me like read. Do I have an ancestor altar? So because I have a small space, I always have to take apart altars after a while. So I will always utilize, and I always will have some type of altar space up, but it's not always going to be for like I don't have like a specific ancestor altar that I leave up all the time. I don't have like a specific altar that I'll leave up for like a specific deity that I'm working with all the time, because it's like I use the same space for altars, like an altar space. I usually am setting it up to like make an offering at that time if I'm going to be doing some occulty stuff, right? Some witchy stuff. If I'm going to be doing like a ritual of some sort, right? So it's like the setup is always like a constant like revolving table essentially. So, and that's just because like I'm like everything's in my room right now. I don't have the space for it. Whenever I have like my own place, right? When I have like my own apartment, that's when things would be so much different. But right now we just make do. Basically, I live out of like y'all wouldn't know it, but I basically like I can fit all my stuff in 2 suitcases. Those definitely. A lot of channels with only hands are sus. They disappear after a while and sell it to rebrand and take it. Yeah, like I don't know. I know for some people they prefer just to see the hands because they can see the cards and then it's just like something to focus on. But it's like I just like being able to like I just like a connection, right? I just like a personality to connect to, right? So it's like a lot harder to connect to just some hands. Granted, I get enough compliments on my hands in general anyways that I feel like I could just do keep it at my hands to make it certainly a lot easier to do videos if I never had to do anything to my face, right? Do I have a favorite tarot deck? Ooh. I do. Well, I guess it depends on like I have a favorite tarot deck for like depending on like the thing. because like I have like my own tarot deck that I've had for like my very first one. I will only use that one for myself, and there are other decks that I will only use for very specific things. Um, More so just because if I'm like trying to get specific details on something, right? So I can't. It doesn't really showcase it in like the readings, for general YouTube readings, right? You don't really get to like. It's kind of just like do a spread, right? But when it like, because there's so much more that goes into it for me in my practices. Like I've been doing tarot cards for like over 10 years, but I've been um, spiritually practicing, connecting to spirit guides and the otherworldly since I'm like 9, 10 years old. So it's like, and I have a lot of occult practices that I incorporate. So it's like when I do like readings off camera, basically, it's just a lot more goes into it, a lot more effort than just like shuffling some cards, essentially. So I will have like there are certain things like I just have a process, right? And at some point, whenever I have like my own place and I have my life basically more together, where I'm not living out of two suitcases, basically. Um, I do plan on like being more hands on and like intimate in that with like showing y'all that stuff more, just because I think it's like something like everyone should do in the sense of, or at least think about it. Um, right? Because I like maybe that's self-involved thinking. Um, something that I like maybe I guess what I'm trying to say is like maybe something that I do in my practices, occult practices, just because of like my wide range of knowledge, just because of the people that I've talked to. Um, and maybe there's just like a technique that I do that maybe someone will enjoy. But I don't want to do it until like I have like specific like easy setups, right? Because it's like everything right now it just has to be like managed like manageable for me to do like my work, but also do like set up lights for like like nothing's organized essentially. Everything's in like boxes, and I bring the boxes and like certain things out for specific times and put it away, so it's not really pleasing to look at. You enjoy seeing the face? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. You know what I'll do? I think I'll do like my daily readings, perhaps, just with my hands, because that way it'll be easy to do. Because I'm really gonna go back to I did it once last week, but I'm really gonna get into it every single day, doing a daily thing. And the daily ones were like 10 minutes or so. I'll just keep it at my hands for those that just like my hands, I guess. And then I'll just do like my normal general ones right now, still with just like my face. And I'll just like eventually at some point the ideal is to so you can see my face and the cards in whatever way that looks like. I appreciate you, Natasha. I could be a hand model. Am I a 12th house dominant or have Pisces placement? I honestly, honest to God, I don't know, um, because I I haven't gotten that into astrology. I mean, it's funny. Expose. I'm not that like. I haven't personally delved too deep into astrology quite yet, just because I like to learn from other people. That's just how I've even been too. Like what I suggest to anybody in life truly is to never speak as if you know anything. And that's how I've really carried myself in spirituality. Granted, I ended up in a cult during my early years, honey. For a few years, I ended up in a cult, so be careful about that, honey. But especially with spirituality, I've been blessed to just learn a lot of people's practices, a lot of spiritual beliefs. I've been able to learn about. Was able to connect with like Pombagira and like learn about Haitian practices. I was able to like. There's just so many. That's how I was able to be introduced into working with goetic demons. There's because I was like introduced to a very specific individual, Emmanuel, years ago, right? There's just, and it's because like I will never will s- I that's like I will never speak from a place of authority. I always will ask people what they are doing, because I feel like you can learn so much through other people's experiences. So why speak as if you know anything, when if you act like a dumbass, then people are going to tell you everything, like tell you more, right? If you're asking questions, they'll tell you, and there's just like that's how I've like lived my life, honey. I've learned so much, and I've been able to avoid it so much, And I probably like I always get the compliment for years that I'm like I always come off of a lot more mature or wise beyond my years. And it's because not because like I've experienced some things, honey, but it's like I learn a lot from other people's stuff because it's like I like to ask the question why, like why, like what was your thinking in this time? Why did you do X, Y, and Z? Right? But yeah, I don't know. I know I'm a Libra Scorpio cusp, but I don't know anything else really because I don't know my birth time. I have my birth certificate, but I have to get the long form and I have to go to Florida for that. And so until I get my birth time, and that's the thing I really want to do. Like by the time I get my birth time chart, I really want to collaborate with like a YouTuber, like an astrologer YouTuber. I think that'd be so fun to like, and I would like obviously pay them, but like I want to just do it like a collaborative video and that like they just read like my chart with like the birth time and all that. And we can just either like record it or like live stream it or whatever, just so like one, I can look at it later, but two, like when it like I mean, I guess that's self-involved thinking again, but it's just like is it like I know a lot of people usually like to keep their stuff private, like the birth time and all those extra details, but it's just like I think it's just fascinating to hear about someone's like I don't know, because I would be like the person be like questioning, be like, okay, like why does this mean this? So it would be such an interesting like experience throughout it as well, while using myself as the example, you know? And especially since like I'm so open anyways, like it would be able to like I feel like it'd be so I don't know. I'm probably being self-involved in that, but like long story short, I don't know my 12th house or anything like that, just because I don't know my birth time. At some point I want to, but the moment I do, y'all will know. Like I'll have a video out, even if it's just like myself looking at it. Hand model, face model, all model. Can I do more pick a cards for the SNS channel? I want to. There's just like a balance, right? I have to figure out right now, like my channel's a priority just because it's like I do that constant, consistent content. So it's like until I get my stuff settled in, it's kind of hard to like I'm not even as consistent as I would like for my channel. So it's like I don't want to like spread myself further, and like set up more of an expectation for other like a whole like the other channel to have me posting as well. So it's like I'll post whenever I have like some free time, but really until like I get stuff consistent here, I don't want to like push it too much. But what is something positive I learned during quarantine? Honestly, y'all, my life really hasn't changed that much during quarantine because I live a pretty quarantined life. Um, whatever I learned, though, the most positive thing that I've learned, positive. Y'all like how I like honed in on the word positive? Um, hmm. The most positive thing that I've learned during COVID is probably that silence for like 10 minutes is like positive, man. Positive. Positive. I'm trying to think of how to like shape it in a positive. No, you know what? The positive thing that I've learned during quarantine is how to like start exploring my expressions more, being able to, because I'm not an artistic creative person in the sense I'm not able to create anything, right? I can't create wonderful music. Well, I don't, rather. I'm sure I could like if with enough I know like the argument, like insert argument if you practice here, if you practice here, like I get that argument, right? But I don't really like I've never had a talent for drawing. Like I've tried, I've tried. I can't even do a straight line. I can't fold paper. Like I don't really have like the physical, I can't myself physically create something artistic. And for me, like I don't really ever realize this with myself, but I am such a passionate, focused person. Like I function purely off of passion, which it sounds weird to say that I didn't realize that's how I was, but I truly didn't realize that what's motivated me. And that's what I like the number one thing that I find attractive in all people is like when they're passionate. And so it's like What was the question? I feel like I just got on such a tangent. Positive thing that I learned during quarantine, but I don't even remember what was I even talking about with the passion. Oh yeah, I'm creative. So it's like, yeah, like my artistic or like way I can do something creative is by like some type of being able to pull an emotion, right? I feel like I'm pretty good at being able to bring out uh intimate emotions in people through like writing or through my speaking. At some point I really would like to be in a like, if I were to tell you like on like completely uh open, like at some point I really feel like I would be like, I would love to try to be like a motivational speaker, or not motivational. Who am I motivating, honey? More so an inspirational speaker, or just like a speaker in general who needs to have like a um label in that way. I would like to be a speaker in some way because I feel like I can tell a story, and it's just only, I can only tell a story because it's like I have no problems talking about me being a train wreck, right? So like that's my thing, and I think I really started exploring it a little bit more through quarantine. I built my website during quarantine last year, and I also started getting into photography a little bit more. Photography, like self-portraits more. I started taking myself more photos of myself, putting more effort into taking photos of myself, which then it has like fed into like some more self-love, right? I think I cut my hair during quarantine as well. I cut off my relaxed hair, which was a huge thing for me. You look back on my channel, I didn't always have curly hair or short hair. I used to have long hair, and that's how I used to have my hair all during high school. So it's like me embracing my curly hair was like such a huge new thing for me. And like facial hair, like I feel like though I always am like explore, like I'm constantly exploring, but that's a positive thing. Through quarantine, I've been able to really make the time to explore a lot more and have a lot more fun with myself, and like the journey of self-expression and the many aspects that it is. That sounds like such a cheesy, like fluffy answer, doesn't it? You gotta sleep. All right, good night, Sasha. You're late. No, you're not late, Sela. You're just perfect at the right time. Got into astrology. Yeah, I ideally would like to elevate myself. My readings. I'm trying to find my cap. There it is. I want to, like, in terms of my readings, I always want to have, like, my general readings. And my intent right now, my focus right now, is to, this is me like thinking like, how transparent do I want to be, and plus like, do y'all even care about like the journey of like where I'm trying to take this channel to? Probably not, huh? I'm like squinting. Why don't I just put on my glasses? Did I bring my glasses? Maybe I didn't bring my glasses. I don't think I did, y'all. Oh well. So I'll just have to be holding the computer. That's another thing too. I need to get my eyes checked. I want to be able to I haven't gotten I haven't gotten new glasses in a couple years. I know I need to, especially since like in my thumbnails, when I'm doing thumbnails, you can see my glasses be crooked. And I used to really like the look of it, but now I'm only self-conscious about it because I don't know if other people know that I'm like intentionally like allowing myself to have crooked glasses. So it's like so those are the silly things that I think about, y'all. Your reading is awesome. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You'll be up for a while. Yeah, this is like, honey, this is me just starting out, getting up, um, well, being active for the night. I'm gonna be recording, I have the Earth General Tarot readings to do for Monday. So I have to be recording those, which I'm excited for. And I still have to record the Water Signs Ancestor readings. And then I have to think about what else I want to include. Do you guys miss the, is there anyone in the chat right now? Or I guess you can let me know in the comments later, if you're this far in. Is there anyone that actually wants the you versus them readings that I used to do weekly? If there's anyone that misses, because I haven't done them in the past like couple weeks, I don't think. So I don't know if like, but I haven't seen anyone ask for them, so I was just like, oh well, maybe I can just like fade them out, I guess, if no one really cares for them. Do I have a favorite? Yes, I do, honey. I recommend it to everybody. It's the book, my favorite book, and it's the book it's been my favorite since elementary school. No, middle school. It's got like one of those like big prizes. I guess it's a pretty known book because of the prize it got. I don't remember the name of it, but it's called A Girl Named Disaster by Nancy Farmer, I think is her name, the author. And it's such a beautiful book. I am so bad at explaining the premise of it, but I've never identified with someone's story more. I'm trying to think if I can like summarize it without giving anything away, but I don't know if I can because of how much I talk and how many tangents I do. So what I would suggest to you guys is just just look up the book A Girl Named Disaster. And I think it's by Nancy Farmer. And that's like the book. And it's such a, like, that is the book that I truly like. Yeah, that is just my absolute favorite. Absolute favorite book. I don't think there's a better story out there. So good. So good. Yeah, it's so good. I think you can even get it on iTunes for like just like a couple bucks. It's such a good book though. Such a good book. But yeah. All right, y'all. I think I finished my skincare. I should. Yeah, I did finish my skincare. Yeah, like it's just me zooming in. It's like, no, it doesn't look like it with these pimples, honey, huh? All right, y'all. I'm gonna close out this live stream so I can start doing the recordings, right? Because I don't want to be late with y'all's readings, like I usually end up being late. But yeah, did I even finish my question what I wanted to ask y'all before? If there was like anyone that was like that misses like the you versus them readings. I wasn't sure if like yeah, I'm not sure if like I should bring them back or if I should just like keep like the rest of like the Friday to Sunday open for just like whatever readings I feel like doing. But if I don't, like, I'm gonna be honest as well. If I just keep it open, I probably won't. Probably more often than not, I probably won't record anything if I don't have something like set scheduled in there. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna push uploading the you versus them readings if there aren't people that are interested in it. Because it's like, I know it's like a very specific type of reading. And I personally, my favorites are the general readings, to be honest. But I know there's like the popular, like a lot of people, like the popular readings, right, are always like the ones usually when it is like some type of relationship based thing, because people are just interested in hearing about perspectives, right? So I don't know. I guess I kind of answered my own question in that way, didn't I? If I should bring him back or not, but we'll think about it. I'll think about it some more. Maybe I'll like test it out like I'll put it out this week. I don't know, y'all. This is me. Listen to me getting ahead of myself, thinking about what I should be posting for Friday to Sunday when I haven't even done the videos for Monday to Thursday yet, honey. I'm so excited to see about where this channel goes, though, y'all. Just because of the sense that it's like right now my main priority is getting like the proper setup, right? Being able to like upgrade like the setting so you can see like the table, the background being different, honey. Y'all know if you the background bothers me the most. But yeah, I'm more so just so excited to just like soon, I feel like it's gonna be soon. Once I'm able to get my own place. Which, by the way, y'all, it's so crazy. Let me not get into that, actually. I know that's probably annoying to hear when someone's just like, oh, let me not talk about that. But I promise you, it's more so me saying because it's not interesting. Yeah, I promise you, though, I will be doing videos back on the SNS channel, though. That definitely it's not my last one. It's more so that I want to, like, I want to be able to, like, give my energy to this one and give my consistency there before I add more to my plate, because then I feel like it's unfair to everybody if I'm like just like trying to like do the madness that I've been doing, right? Because it hasn't been working out too well. No, that's not true. It's worked out. All right. I'm babbling, y'all. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We went through a roller coaster, honey, of emotions. We went through a roller coaster of conversations, but it was good though. I feel like it's been good. I enjoy being able to connect with you guys and just like talk. I want to really do a now that it's springtime, or it's about to be spring, daylight saving time, honey. Oh my god. Um, don't play with it. We lost an hour. But yeah, now that it's about to be spring, I'm gonna go back into the woods again, and I can start recording in the woods. The OGs know about me in the woods. That sounds so sketch or sus, doesn't it? Me just being like in the woods. Basically, last year in the spring, I used to record a lot of videos in the woods, because that was just my favorite place. But keep on babbling, Velka. Keep on babbling. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me, and yeah, I guess I'm gonna try to fit more personal videos, but I'm not gonna be able to fit in more personal videos unless I like stop babbling in this one, right? Bye, guys. And now we get to have that awkward closing moment when I'm trying to close out the thing. Still can't do it. I said bye 10 seconds ago. All right, now we got it. Bye, y'all.